Good morning, Robert.
Good morning to you, sir.
The turkey has made way for you. Sorry about that.
Good morning. It's a nice royal smell. Yes, nice royal smell from the turkey.
Tell us about the Royals and Christmas. Let's kick in with that, shall we?
Well, they love their cranberry sauce, I have to say, Chris. You know, the Queen likes a bit of sweetness with her turkey, but some mustard as well.
How do you know all these things?
Well, I've met some of them. I remember once I went to give a lecture at Gordonston School in the Highlands of Scotland, and I went for a drink afterwards with the headmaster. He said, "I've got a boy to show you round." And I said, he's going to spend a lot of his life being shown round places, so I thought he ought to learn how to show people round. Went outside, there was Prince Andrew.
There you go.
Many years ago. When it comes to what goes on at Christmas, they have a lot of guests, and I'm afraid, they shouldn't be indiscreet, but guests talk. And that's how we learn secrets of cranberry sauce at Sandringham.
Always Sandringham. Now, so Volume 2 goes with the show. So people, it's
That's right. The idea is that if you watch an episode called Mystery Man, for example, and you wonder who's the mystery man, you can look in the book and see it's Prince Philip. And that Prince Philip was wrongly implicated in a scandal in the 1960s called the Profumo scandal. Then there's who's Harold Wilson, people say these days. Yeah. Sadly, people forget that he was the Queen's first socialist prime minister, brilliantly played, I think, by Jason Watkins. Yeah. And I'm trying to imitate Harold Wilson, but this doesn't mean much to people, does it, who are not our age?
No, the best way to impersonate Harold Wilson was to do an impersonation of Mike Yarwood's impersonation of Harold Wilson. That was it, wasn't it?
Exactly, yes. Well, there's so much of the royal family that live through the media that the idea of the book is to get the nitty-gritty. Every chapter is named after an episode in the series, and you can turn to it and have a look and see what's history, what's invention, and what the meaning of that particular episode is.
You make a good point in as much as Elizabeth II will go down as one of the greatest royals of all time in any nation, any empire.
Well,
ever.
I mean, when people see this series, and I write about it in the book, look what we lived through in the 60s and 70s. You're too young to remember this, but the 3-day week.
No, I remember that.
Things shut down.
I remember
and we had our lights off for 4 days of the week. There was we've had the terrorist problems, inflation at 25%. We went through some very tough times, all of which we talk about in the book and we see in the series, and we see the royal family, the way in which the royal family, not a perfect bunch of people by any chance, by any means, but how they helped us get through.
All right, okay. What next then? What next for the Crown? What can you tell us?
Well, you can work it out for yourself. This is supposed to be a deadly secret, Chris. Netflix will probably cut off my contract. We're not supposed to talk about what's next. But what's interesting about The Crown is that each series goes with a particular prime minister. We've just seen Harold Wilson. Who came after Harold Wilson? Mrs. Thatcher. Mm-hmm. And we already know, it's not a secret, that Gillian Anderson will be playing Mrs. Thatcher. So that's what we're shooting at the moment.
We were trying to do the maths about how long each series The Crown spans, and we added everything together and how many hours have been broadcast, and we got down to about 9 years per series. But you are going with the Prime Minister chronology instead, are you?
I don't think it's a secret. The next series will be about 14 years, the years of Mrs. Thatcher to 1990, including there will be Diana, Charles, Fergie, Andy. And then you've got the 1990s, the Annus Horribilis, and then we go on to Golden Jubilee. The great secret is when the Crown will stop. Will it come up to the present day, or will it stop at some point before that?
Okay. But, all right, good. Well, fantastic. So it's very intriguing, isn't it? I can't wait to get into it. I now want to go back and watch, because I've watched all the series 3 of The Crown anyhow. So do I go back again and I get the chapter of the book in front of me. I get a little something of what I like by my side, yeah?
That's right,
and
yes.
I press play and I get to chapter 1 and this is what I do, is it?
That's right. You get to chapter 1 and there you are, talking about misadventure and the Suez Crisis and how Prince Philip went off on his trip around the South Pacific. And
now I know how series 3 or season 3, as they say in the States of The Crown, ends. How does your book end? Let me read the last line of it.
The very last words.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. We celebrate the Golden Jubilee with the poem that John Betjeman wrote. In days of disillusion, however low we've been, to fire us and inspire us, God gave to us our Queen.
The Chris Evans Breakfast Show with Sky.